I was in the break room, staring at the coffee machine like it was going to spit out a clue. The hum of the office felt different that morning, off like when a dog senses a storm before the sky cracks open. Nobody said it, but I could feel something slipping through the cracks. The email ping on my phone pulled me from that quiet suspicion. It was from someone I barely knew, a name I'd only seen on the company org chart. "Call me ASAP," it said. No explanation, just those 3 words that felt like a trapdoor opening beneath me. I slipped back to my desk, the cold in the air conditioning suddenly too sharp. This was no ordinary day. My name's Emma Collins. I work in compliance at a mid-sized financial firm in Denver. Quiet job, quiet life, or so I thought. Mark Reynolds was the last person I wanted to hear from. He was sharp, sarcastic, and the kind of coworker who knew how to needle you until you cracked. But it wasn't just his tone, it was what he knew. Or thought he knew. Mark had a habit of lurking near office secrets, too close for comfort. I kept my distance. Professional, polite, but always wary. 2 weeks earlier, Mark had accidentally spilled something during a team lunch. A joke, a slip, hard to tell. But the words stuck. You'd be surprised what's buried in the old files. His eyes flicked toward me, sharp as a knife. He said it like a dare, but I played it off, laughed along. I should have known better. The email was a single thread. The sender was Mark's personal account. I dialed back cautiously. "Emma," his voice was tight. "We need to talk. It's serious." "What is it?" I might have let something slip, something that could mess things up. "Like what?" "Private client info. Leaked." My stomach dropped. Compliance wasn't just policy and paperwork. It was about trust, legal lines that could get people locked up or bankrupt overnight. A leak could mean lawsuits, regulatory investigations, jobs lost, and maybe worse. I glanced at my inbox, then out the window at the gray Denver skyline. Mark's office was just a few cubes down the row, but right now, he felt 1,000 miles away. The tension in the room thickened. What had he done, and why tell me? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every interaction with Mark, every glance, every offhand comment. The pieces didn't add up. He wasn't the careless type, too smart, too calculated. Unless this was something else entirely. The next day, I found Mark in the conference room, pacing like a caged animal. He looked exhausted, eyes bloodshot. "I'm telling you everything," he said. "I didn't mean to expose it, but someone else's slip-up put it in my hands." "Who?" He hesitated. "I can't say yet, but it's bad. Emma. Assets frozen. Big clients involved. If this goes public." I leaned in, heart pounding. "Are you involved?" Mark shook his head quickly. "No, I'm just the messenger. But I'm scared." I wanted to believe him, but something about his fear felt like a mask. As days passed, whispers spread. The finance department was in chaos. Clients were calling. Rumors of frozen assets, secret audits, legal teams descending like vultures. I found myself watching Mark closely, noticing subtle changes, furtive phone calls, disappearing at odd hours. One afternoon, I stumbled on something in the shared drive, an encrypted folder named Project H. It wasn't marked for compliance, but it contained emails between Mark and an anonymous address. The language was cryptic, but hints of money moving offshore. I felt a chill. Was Mark the leak, or the scapegoat? I confronted him. "Project H," I said quietly. "What is it?" He smiled, slow and thin. "You're digging too deep, Emma. Some things are better left buried." The air between us snapped like a wire. I knew then the story was bigger, darker. Then the mini-twists hit one after another. First, the IT department revealed Mark's credentials had been used to access sensitive data remotely, but logs showed he wasn't at his desk at the time. Someone was framing him. Second, a client stepped forward, claiming they'd received a suspicious call demanding information. The voice sounded like Mark's, but recordings didn't match his normal tone. Third, the company's internal audit uncovered a paper trail linking another executive, Lisa Harrington, to offshore accounts, funded right under our noses. I was caught between two worlds, Mark, the obvious suspect, and Lisa, the untouchable VP, who smiled too sweetly in board meetings. I started piecing it together, working late nights, digging through files, connecting dots nobody else wanted to see. Behind the scenes, I was preparing. Quietly, I set up a secure server to back up evidence, created encrypted channels to share information with trusted contacts. I wasn't going to be the one left holding the bag. One night, Mark showed up at my apartment, wild-eyed and desperate. "They're on to me," he said. "Lisa's playing us both. She leaked everything, used me as a distraction. Why tell me now? Because you're the only one I trust." I wanted to believe him, but trust was fragile. Could I gamble on this? The showdown came fast. The company froze, all assets tied to the scandal. News leaked, shareholders panicked, and Lisa was called in for questioning. But the deeper truth came out during a private meeting. Mark was innocent. He'd been manipulated, set up to take the fall. But then came the second twist. Lisa wasn't just the mastermind. She was working with someone inside the regulatory agency. They had planned to engineer the leak to crash the company's stock. Buy up shares cheap, then clean house once the dust settled. The entire mess was a staged war. I realized what I'd been preparing for. Not just defending Mark, but exposing a conspiracy that stretched beyond the office walls. With the evidence I'd gathered, I handed everything over to an outside investigator, watching as the wheels of justice began to turn. As I left the building that evening, the weight lifted slightly, but the quiet in the air had changed forever. The truth was out, but so was the cost, and Mark, he disappeared from the office the next day. No goodbyes, no explanations. Only the echo of that last conversation. "Watch your back, Emma. They're not done." I kept my phone off for hours. Because sometimes, silence is the only way to stay alive.